I'm just having a little fun today. I'm in a good mood. The team's
Yeah,
been
that's
playing
right.
well. I'm in a good mood right now.
The vibes
The vibes are good.
are high, man. The vibes are high. I have to say, I have not been to a game like the Leafs Friday night game in like a long time where like you can just feel like it has big game energy, and like it's not in just like last year you could say like the Vegas game had big game energy because anytime Eichel's in town, and obviously it was a big comeback, but the season's done by that point. Like, when's the last time they've really had a game that sort of felt like that at home? I think it's been a little bit, and just walking out of the building that night, it's like the vibes are just good. You feel good about the team watching that. It's they felt like a better team against a team they should be better than, or a team that's very vulnerable right now in the Leafs, and it just feels good. It's a good feeling about the team right now.
Sitting next to Jonah, I finally saw him believe in this year's Sabres. I for how negative he was. I mean, even this past week. The week before this. I mean, he was pretty negative when me and Christian were pretty positive. I heard him say, "We are back" at the Sabres game. So I was like, you know what? This might be for real if Jonah's starting to believe.
Back from what? 2011? Are we back?
Look, you know how I feel about this team. I've always said this team could be good. I think after the 0-3 start, I was starting to have some second thoughts and was kind of on team rebuild. But, the waters have settled. You have a better understanding of this team now, and what they've done the past week and a half has been, while shorthanded, while making guys step up. I mean, your second line right now is Josh Doan, Ryan McLeod, and Alex Tuck, and it's working. It's working, and it's just been such an encouraging, 4-1-1 stretch here, and it sucks. We would feel so much better if they scratched that one out Saturday night in Toronto. And, like, it's just, the ending to that game, it's kind of like a God damn it type of loss. Like, that one slipped away from them. It slipped away. And if they win that, like, what are we saying now? Like, then they've won 3 straight. They would have won, 4 or 5, or 5 of 6, and it's about playing a brand of hockey that just feels repeatable, and it's a consistent brand of hockey. Like, it's not like last year, even when they were going through their good stretches in the second half of the season, like they were still, the offense was, the pucks were going in the net, but I don't think it was really deserved. They were shooting a lot over expected. James Reimer at the end was your starting goalie, and it was deserved because he was stealing you games, but he was stealing you games. And here, I mean, in this 4-1-1 stretch, how many games have you stolen? Any?
I mean, I wouldn't say they stole any games. They've gotten really good goaltending, but it hasn't been the, if you pull that away, it doesn't, cave the entire ship in. I think a good word you used is repeatable. All the numbers back up the way that they're playing in a way where you could keep this going at a consistent rate, and it's all meshing. Like, obviously, I think the big thing is the special teams. They might regress a little bit. They might, long season, they might flip a little bit, but I don't think they like came out of a game and they were like, oh man, kind of parked the bus at the end, or oh, Alex Lyon absolutely stood on his head, which he's been playing great, but he didn't, like, he hasn't faced 45 shots in a deserved loss or anything like that.
Yeah, I think the Detroit game, like, Detroit ended up out chancing them and generating more expected goals, but like the last 5 minutes, the Sabres were just under siege. I mean, they did kind of park the bus in that one, and Colton Ellis was just saving everything. But for 55 minutes of that game, and I thought they were the better team. And yeah, I mean, they're not perfect, but I think they're pretty good. Like, I feel pretty good. They look pretty good, and it's a version of the Sabres that I don't think we've seen in a long, long, long time. Like this type of team that we're watching now, I don't know when's the last time you could say a team looked like this, even in their, quote unquote good seasons. I guess their back-to-back winning seasons in 22, 23, and 23, 24, they didn't look like this.
No, especially not that. I mean, we all talk about 22, 23. They didn't even make the playoffs, and you had guys going on wicked shooting benders that season, and it still wasn't enough to get you in. Like, I don't think I've seen the team be as analytically a bunch of darlings like this ever. And yes, it's been, 9 games? We're 9 games in, almost about 10% of the way through the season. Hopefully that trend continues, because it's been fun to watch. It's nice to go into a game and see, some speed and skill on display, crisp passing, like that first goal against, or that second goal against the Leafs at home. Like, I wish I was in attendance for that one. That would have been nice to see in person.
That was sweet. That was on our end. That was really cool. But I think it's also the way they're scoring. Like, they're scoring in many different ways. Like, you talk about that 22-23 team. That was a pure rush offense type of team. This year, they're scoring all different types of way. Their power play is doing really good. They're finally just getting some snipes from Tage Thompson and Matthias Samuelsson. Got to throw him in there, too.
The guy you expect to be sniping.
But they're also,
and Timmins being the best 2 defensemen through 9 games is crazy.
Yeah, it is. But they're also getting to the net a lot. Like, they're getting some dirty goals. They're getting some screens in there. Like the Byram goal last night, that was just pure screen. Like, the goalie didn't see it. So they're scoring in all different types of ways, which I think is making it look even better. I mean, throwing the penalty kill goal to ice the game Friday night. I mean, they're just scoring in all different types of ways.
I mean, we've talked about how, looking at that 22-23 team, like, remember when Tortorella's Flyers would just take them to the clinic? Like, they just could not play that type of game. Like, Tortorella was just knew how to shut them down off the rush. And it felt like every time they played, they just were getting caved in. And, this version of this, this team, I mean, we'll see what happens when they play the Flyers now, because Tocchet plays, I think, a very similar style. But, I don't think they'll struggle as much in those games. You have Zach Benson now. You have Josh Doan now who generate offense in very different ways. And I don't know. I struggle to call the Sabres a deep lineup, but they might have a deep lineup, because now I was giving Jack Quinn shit in the Montreal game, and these past 3 games, I'd have to look at the numbers. I don't think the numbers are too great, but just watching him, this is a different Jack Quinn. He looks quick, and that's really encouraging for him. And he's made a few high IQ plays. I mean, Zucker got robbed in the dying minutes of the Leafs game on Friday, where Quinn, just force feeds a pass through the Leafs defender's skate while going full speed, and he just plays like that. He looks good. So
the pass behind his back for that goal with Zucker.
Yeah, that Red Wings goal. Yeah.
I mean, the 2 plays. I mean, Detroit. Obviously, the Detroit game was the coming out party where he scored 3 points, had the game-winning goal. But it snowballed. He had a good night against. I thought he had a decent night against the Leafs, or at least where he popped. Both games, I think. It's encouraging. It's really encouraging, and there's still things we were talking about before we recorded. Some things are not going to continue as they are. And we'll get to the goalie conversation, but is Alex Lyon going to play like this from games? What's next game? Game 10? Game 10 to 82? No, there's going to be some dips. Even Colton Ellis. is he going to do that every single game? But no. And their penalty kill, I think, is still at 90 something.
96%.
No, it's 93.9. They're second in the league.
Yeah. So that's not gonna keep up forever.
Hold, yeah.
But at the same time, there's other things like, you're not healthy. You're like, it is crazy to think. I'm not going to throw Josh Norris in this conversation too much because that's never going to be a thing that I'm going to have full confidence in. But at the end of the day, you're missing Michael Kesselring. Like, you're missing a top 4 defenseman. And even Jordan Greenway, who is someone that I think catches a lot of flack from someone like me, I think it's still sort of like the Samuelsson dilemma where, look, Greenway is going to be a much more effective player on the fourth line than like a Josh Dunn. Similar to how Samuelsson is a much better player on the third pair compared to a Jacob Bryson or a Zach Jones or a Ryan Johnson. Like, that matters. It matters. I don't think it's going to have some huge effect, but, like, they are not fully 100%. And, I mean, Noah Oslin's their third-line center. Kozak, who's been great to start this year, is, just got hurt again. He'll probably be out for a week.
I mean, I would even, as much as I don't like Bryson, I would throw him in there, just throwing his name in there because I think Zach Metza has been pretty rough. Like, I think Bryson can at least do better than Metza.
Yeah, I hate to throw the blame directly on him because there's 5 guys on the ice that contribute to a goal against. But that Leafs tying goal, I think it was the tying goal.
Was it the Dakota Joshua goal?
Yes.
Friday night, yeah. The one to make that was the bad, yeah. He was definitely
left
lost
that guy
there.
Just
wide open. I don't think you guys are wrong. Like, I agree with you. He hasn't killed them yet. Now,
no.
Continues to play for the next, 20 or so games. Like, yeah, it will begin to hurt them over time. I want to say Detroit, the Detroit game, I don't think he saw much ice time in the third period because he also, I think, kind of left the man open on the JT Compher goal. So, I mean, that's
after that goal we just talked about.
Yeah.
So Lindy's had a short leash with them.
Yeah, and like just going from that to Michael Kesselring, that will be felt. That is going to be so big, and it could have a ripple effect. I mean, I got to give the guy his flowers. Bowen Byram has had a great start to this season, and I still don't trust him 100% away from Dahlin, but Dahlin is just. He's the most important player on your team.
And he's been struggling.
If they want to get him going, like maybe you throw Kesselring with him because, I mean, Power and Timmins have been killing it. Like, Connor Timmins has been he's been great for them to start. And like I said, like if you want to get Dahlin going, like give him Kesselring. Like that might be enough. And then, Samuelsson and Byram as your third pair. It's not horrible. Like I don't feel horrible about it now, given how well
offensive powerhouse kind of pair right there.
It's also nice to have the conversation about being able to change the mix with your 6th defenseman and not have it be, well, we can't do this because if we move this guy up here, everything goes to shit immediately. So it's kind of nice to be like, yeah, we can mix it around, see if we can get some people going. This is what you want out of a good team.
I mean, I think Samuelsson has been with Dahlin a bunch. Like, since Metza has had a short leash and he's been benched a few times, they've been running 5 defensemen. So everybody's kind of been together, which definitely does help, especially with Byram is playing good, and that's with Dahlin probably being one of our worst defensemen right now. So it's when Kesselring comes back, it will be interesting to see what they do just because of Dahlin not doing good and everybody else pretty much playing pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when he rocketed that puck into the crowd on Friday night, I don't think I've ever seen a play out of that like that before. Like that
he was trying to do the Tony Ludman flip down the ice and not make it an icing. Have it
he
stop
was trying to hit
right
the
at the top of the
scoreboard.
circle.
Like he just.
Yeah, he airmailed that.
It's funny they were playing the Leafs. It was
100%.
like when Mitch Marner. It was like when Mitch Marner sent that. He just skied that puck. The delay of game penalty against Montreal. What was it? Game 5 or 6 back in 2021. Like it was just that type of like, what are you doing? Like that was never in play. So Dahlin's had slow starts before. It's Rasmus Dahlin. I'm not worried. Like he'll figure it out. He'll be fine. His summer has not been probably the most ideal. And he's like I said, he's had these starts before, and I think he'll be fine. It's just the team's going to need him eventually because I think like a lot of these things, like as much as Byram and Samuelson are playing great, and the goaltending has been stellar aside from one guy, they're gonna need their best player to be their best player at some point.
Yeah, I think other than the first game, I don't think he's had a good game since. Genuinely, like it's been frustrating to watch. I think every single time he does it now, Jonah knows this. He takes these freaking one-timers from the point and they never get through. Like I don't know why he's so infatuated with it right now. I don't understand it. It's not even just him. Like there's other players on the team that do this too, but him specifically, I don't know. It's been frustrating to watch with him, knowing how good he is. But
Go. Sorry,
we'll see.
I didn't mean to cut you
He'll
off.
bounce back. I'm just waiting for it.
I was gonna say, speaking of one-timers, can we please talk about that 5-on-3? Please.
Oh, jeez.
Dude,
I was gonna hold off on this.
No,
I told
no.
JP on the ride home from the game on Friday. I was like, Matthias Samuelson had 2 goals. They played great. They could go into Toronto and just bury them, and I'll still be. I'll still be talking about that 5-on-3 because holy crap, man! Like, why?
They immediately went back to that 2022-23 power play where they would feed Tage, and obviously the league took notice and they were like, "All right, we got to run it. We got to run a unit to have a guy over there." But on a 5-on-3, both teams know you're not going to have that guy because someone's going to be left wide open. They were like, dude, we are feeding this thing to you. You got to put it in the back of the net.
I'm fine. Like with the Tage Thompson one-timer stuff, like I don't want to swing too far in the other direction because like that, you should want that. You should want that look on the power play. It's just how you get it open. And like my biggest thing is why is an NHL team still setting up a full 2-minute 5-on-3? Why are you still setting up in the 1-3-1? Why? Like that's basic. That is basic hockey. That's hockey 101. You don't set up in the umbrella or the 1-3-1 on a 5-on-3 because stuff like that happens. All they have to do, because you're not going to triangulate shots from Dahlin in the middle of the ice. You're going to want to go to each of your hashes, but you have 2 guys that can easily cover that. Simon Benoit was just soaking Tage Thompson one-timers that entire shift. Like, no, get in. Like, I forget who. One of Dahlin and Tage were trying to get the 2-1-2 set up, and the other one was trying to get the 1-3-1. I forget who it was. I didn't go back and watch the shift, but like, it's mind-boggling. And it was a full 2 minutes. I don't know. Like that is just pure. Like, just somebody tell them to get set up, and then I don't think Zach Benson, Jason Zucker, or Alex. I don't know why Alex Tuck was out there.
I was just gonna say that they've been cooking with Doan as their other guy on their power play, and even on their 5-on-4 since it's been Doan, but on the 5-on-3 they put Tuck out there. Why? Like, I don't. It doesn't really make sense to me. If they're cooking with one unit, why switch the unit? But
it's a different situation.
Regardless. Tuck didn't touch the puck, I don't think, at all, that power play. So it really didn't make a difference.
No, one of the guys just sat in front of the net and did nothing, and basically just acted as a live screen, and it was a 4-on-3 after that. Everyone else just kind of rotated around, but yeah, it was probably one of the worst things I'd watched since the season started.
It's just like not getting the setup correct is just so. And I feel like because they won the game and it didn't cost them, I genuinely wonder, like, how often do they practice 5-on-3? Because that had no plan.
A 2-minute 5-on-3?
That had zero. Well, you should just be practicing 5-on-3s every now and then. Like, you should be setting it, like, you should be setting up. Like, if you ever watch, like, the Minnesota Wild, like, it's just Kaprizov and Zuccarello just passing it below the goal line. And then they look up top for guys coming down the slot for the one-timer. Or I still flash back. You can go watch, I think it was game 1 Toronto, and Tampa Bay. I think was it the year Toronto won? I think it was the year they lost in 7 to Tampa. It was game 1, and they get a 5-on-3. And I think it was Marner and Tavares passing it between the goal line. And Austin Matthews exits the zone, goes to the red line, curls around, comes full speed. Marner gives him sets him up for a one-timer. He's got full momentum going towards it, and he blasts it basically through Vasilevsky's chest. It just went right through. He never stood a chance. And that's what you should be trying to set up with Tage Thompson or Rasmus Dahlin, or at least just have some sort of set play there. It's a 5-on-3, guys. Like I said, I think it's going to get kind of glossed over because they won the game and it didn't cost them, and I don't think anybody asked about it. That cannot happen. A full 2-minute 5-on-3 should be a guarantee. You should have a good shift. They didn't have. Yeah. I think they had one shot. I think one Thompson one-timer got through. That was it.
The announcers almost jinxed us too because I can't remember who was on the call. It was an ESPN game, and they were like, usually if teams don't score on the 5-on-3 usually if teams don't score on the 5-on-3 power play that they are handed, they lose the game. So I was like, great, all right, thanks for that. I guess we just got jinxed, and it was the worst 5-on-3 I'd seen in a long time.
Was that Eric Johnson jinxing them?
Oh man, I don't know if it was Eric Johnson. It's so funny. He was interviewing some of the guys in between periods, and they're like, hey, Eric, how's it going? Good to see you again, buddy. Miss you in Buffalo. He was only around for 60 games.
Who said that? There's no way anybody said that.
Matthias Samuelsson did at the end of the game.
Okay, we're just going to carry.
Samuelsson was coming off a high. He wasn't thinking. All right.
That's true. That's fair. Yeah, it's just a horrible shift. That it was in the back of my mind all game. Luckily, like I said, they pulled out the victory. And look, that's what good teams do. They found a way to get through that. Their second period against the Leafs in that game, I didn't even think it was that good, and they scored twice. And I thought their third period was maybe their best period of the game, and because I thought their third period, honestly, both third periods, they put on a clinic of shutdown hockey. I cannot remember one amazing chance for the Leafs in either game's third period, aside from the big save from Lyon on, I think it was Michelli, right before the tuck goal, and that was on the power play. They really shut things down. It felt pretty good. And in the Saturday game against Toronto, there were two from the moment. I think it was the last 12 minutes of the game, which I think was when Thompson scored the goal. The Sabres allowed 2 shots to Toronto from the entirety of the third period and in overtime. Unfortunately, they both went in. But it's encouraging, especially the Saturday night. Their third period was so good. They deserved to win so bad.
It's just the way the game goes sometimes, You think you have a good game one, like the Montreal game. It's started off pretty slow, but you pick it up and you feel like you're the better team coming out of it, and it just doesn't go your way sometimes. That's where the mental battle comes in. You can't let that spiral into a 13-game losing streak.
I was going to say because the Sabres obviously they were in a playoff spot for about 24 hours Friday night. Had third place in the Atlantic with Detroit and Montreal ahead of them, of all teams.
The two teams we projected to be behind them?
Yeah. And can't help but remember last time they were in a playoff spot, which was also third place in the Atlantic Division. That was last year, fresh off of the West Coast sweep. Then they proceeded to lose 13 straight. So let's not do that again.
No. Yeah, let's learn. Let's acknowledge the past and learn from it. We don't need that in our lives again.